Hello, everybody, and welcome to week 42 of the Trump administration. And some of us are just so over this pregnancy. Last week, Trump sold out his base of farmers super hardcore with his China deal. Not to mention, his base is not getting SNAP payments as of this weekend. Welcome to Trump's America. Fortunately, a judge has told him that he cannot actually stop SNAP payments. But this is what they want. They want the people starving. And we'll get back to why that is. Hopefully, that is going to go out. I would like to remind everybody that if you can afford it, doing mutual aid is a good idea right now. Maybe take somebody grocery shopping with you. This is just another reminder that he's not getting away with everything that he's trying. He's trying a lot of things, and it's really scary, and a bunch of families are flipping out, not okay right now. But hopefully these payments are going to go out today. That is what is supposed to happen. Okay, there was recently a very interesting order to the National Guard that you all are going to want to hear about. It came from the head of the National Guard for every National Guard group and the American territories. There are 54, by the way, there are 54 National Guards. Every one of them is supposed to give a 500-person QRF force. That's a quick reaction force in order to deal with rioters. Why are they doing that? Especially since we do not have a rioting problem in this country right now. Well, Heather Cox Richardson made a very good video about this that I watched this weekend. If you are not following her, run and follow her. Her stuff on here and on Tube is very, very good. She is a historian that is consistently going over what is happening right now. And she's saying, well, you ramp up the starvation, you're going to ramp up some rioting. And now all of a sudden you have a standby quick reaction force to deal with that. Now, I'm going to come in from the friendly military intelligence and logistics side to tell you that 23,000 National Guardsmen and women are not going to be able to do much. I don't think a QRF, a quick reaction force made out of National Guard, is anything but laughable. As someone who was once, in charge of a regular 101st Band of Brothers unit who was part of a QRF, not in charge. I was in charge of the intelligence for said battalion. People who train full-time. When we are part of a quick reaction response force, we are full-time, 12 hours a day, training for that and prepared for that. So I'm sure it's going to go great a little bit on the weekends. This is something to be very aware of, right? Heather Cox Richardson also thinks he's doing it potentially to get the National Guard prepared to be at election sites and polling places. And again, I want to remind you that the only reason he has to be doing that is because there's no federal mechanism to turn off elections, right? We will be having elections 2026. It's just how much can he mess with them. And I truly hope, and I will be talking about it from now till the end of the year, or till next year's elections is what I meant to say, that I hope our response to something like soldiers being put at polling places is to just flood them. Respond like Americans. Fuck you, make me. You're going to try to interfere with elections? Fuck you. Watch us turn out even more people. We did see 2 National Guard soldiers from Chicago go on the news saying that they will disobey orders. And we saw an entire state, which I want to say is South Carolina, National Guard say that they will not let themselves be activated. They are not trying to be part of the Gestapo. So we are seeing some pushback. And from those of you who have asked me what is going on with Venezuela and the blowing up of boats, we don't know. We don't know any information. We don't know what orders are being given. Certainly it looks illegal and extrajudicial. Certainly I expect there to be war crimes investigations into that later, but we do not know. We do not know what order personnel who are doing this are being given. It is not that cut and dry from the outside. Civilians, please remember this. I guarantee you most of the members of the United States military, who are, again, I imagine you, us, your friends, your fathers, your mothers, your cousins, your brothers, your sisters, and your spouses, they are not trying to be weaponized by a dictator. I believe the majority of the military is working very, very hard not to be weaponized by a dictator. That being said, we did see the National Guard in DC clearing out parts of the Navy Yard on Halloween. How could this happen? Well, the National Guard is allowed to do one thing, which is guard federal buildings. So in Washington, D.C., especially because this is not a state and does not have a governor to stand in between, there is much, much more that the National Guard can do. We are seeing them draw the line very strictly with what they will and won't do. So that is good for now. Y'all, are we canceling Christmas yet? I'm really, really into this idea of canceling Christmas, and I hope that we do it. There's very interesting different ways to push back. Not to mention, it'll make handmade gifts very popular now, won't it? Donald Trump went on 60 Minutes and told us that he doesn't even know who he pardoned, so that's great. I wonder how much pardons cost. And in some of the best news I have ever heard in my life, the King of England kicked Prince Andrew out of the family, took away his royal titles. That man is done, done, done. So whatever the king saw in those files was bad. We know it was bad. And I bet you the king was like, you fucking kidding me? You kidding me? I got so much grief for saying I wanted to be a tampon inside the lady who I have loved, the only lady whom I've loved my whole life who's age appropriate for me, and I got so much grief, and my son is no, you're done. Which is great. I mean, love Charles for this. And I truly, truly, truly hope that Bill Clinton is having a terrible, terrible week, and he is clutching his man pearls in absolute fear of what is going to happen to him and the rest of the people. Let's remember, we don't have to take any pressure off of this. I remind you, as your friendly neighborhood intelligence officer, there is no way for the United States to be controlled by force. We have 500 million guns, and we are what we've always been. Loud, obnoxious assholes with guns. And colorful. It's one of the reasons why it's going to be incredibly hard to ignore us. I released on my podcast last week, my podcast is called Cults and the Culting of America. I released an interview with a UCLA professor of the Brazilian military dictatorship. He told me some very interesting things. We had a very interesting conversation. And again, I have spent 9 months now talking to anyone who could potentially be an expert in anything that touches what's going on right now. And everybody has one piece of advice: local community. If you're scared that elections are not going to happen, educate yourself on elections and get involved locally. If you're scared the military is going to be used against the people, educate yourself on how that works and get involved locally. Americans, we are not good at civics and government. We don't understand it and we're not involved. And we get offended when people point that out instead of just going and getting involved. Local community. Small level bureaucracy is the exact opposite of authoritarian dictatorships. Local politicians working for their own interests and the interests of their small level constituents is what ultimately broke the Brazilian military dictatorship. So, time for everyone to get involved. Speaking of which, I'm planning an angry knit-in DC on March 8th, International Women's Day. Going to try to put 10 to 100,000 people on the mall. Our motto, not today, fascism. Come out and join us. Stay tuned. There's going to be lots of planning stuff that we want to get done. And my frog outfit going to be on point. Gauntlet is thrown down. Have a day, y'all. I'm Daniella, scholar of cults, extreme groups, and extremely bad leadership, former captain in the United States military. I have written 2 books, Uncultured, about growing up in the Children of God religious cult. Really, I think explains the people that are running our government right now. And then going into the cult of the U.S. Army. You can get signed copies attached here or listen to me read it to you anywhere you get your audiobooks. My second book, the much anticipated Culting of America, Taking Back the Flag, is coming out January 20th, and you can get your pre-orders attached here. Yes, it's on audio. That is done, done, done. Also, have a day. Have a day, old Donny boy. Stickers in the shop.